So right now I've only got 2 people on here, so I'm going to give it a couple more minutes and see if anybody else shows, and then if not, we'll see if you guys have any questions, and I'll cover a couple of things if you want me to. So just hang tight here. All right, for the sake of time, I'll start here. It looks like Valoris and James, you're the only 2 on right here. I'm gonna unmute both of you. Maybe do you guys have any specific things you have questions on? I have 1 or 2 things I was gonna cover, but I didn't know if you guys had any specific questions to start with.
Well, just sitting here, I'm wanting to add some packages to sell on our website. So I was going to maybe see if you could go over how to do those.
Absolutely.
And then I got to thinking, I don't know if gift certificates are set up to sell on our website, but it's the time of year for sure when I should have those.
Okay. That's easy enough to cover. Jim, do you have anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if there was any update to the report generator.
Okay, so yeah, I'll so as far as any update, I know that they have officially like done the whole gathering of information. They've picked the actual tool they're using and they've started the process. They're still on track from what we're told, is by the end of the year they're going to have it all revamped and completed. So that's still kind of the timeline that they're giving us. So
do you need any beta testers?
We probably will. So I'm going to write that down and I'm going to give that to then Josh. We can reach out to you. All right. Yeah, so that's that. I don't know if you guys have been in the program yet this morning. You did. If you saw that there was an update, I'll kind of give you, there's not a whole lot to show on that, but what we released in this update is duplicate name checking. So that what that means is,
I saw that.
Okay.
And it works.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, so if Valoris, if you haven't, so basically if a person makes a reservation from your website and now it comes into the software, it used to just automatically create a new person. Now we put some checking in there to where it will scan through your existing database, and if it detects the exact same person, so the exact same name along with like the exact same email address, it will basically merge all of the information in that one, and it won't put a duplicate in it. It will just add it to that person's record.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so if it finds something close, so if it finds like maybe the exact name, but not quite matching exactly, you know, maybe a different email and maybe close to an address or a different phone number, what it's going to do is it's going to put a little, almost like a exclamation point symbol on here. And then it's going to say that this potentially could be a match. And then there's an easy way to just see if it's a match. And then if it's a match, you just hit merge and it'll just merge it. So,
Okay.
So we built that in there, and that's what was the release was this morning. The other thing that we released, and I don't think we've covered it too much, is extended rates. We call them extended rates. Have you guys played around with that? Or I guess I should ask, what it's made for is what we want extended rates to be is anything more than like a one night or a nightly, meaning like a weekly rate or a monthly rate, or maybe some people have like a 3-night getaway rate where it's just one lump sum for 3 nights. So we built that into the rate plans. Do either of you guys use any of that?
Yeah, we would use that.
Okay. So I'll
that would
cover
be
that
great.
at least then.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so let me just kind of start on that then, the extended rates. So basically it's in the same area where you define any rates. So if you go to the configuration under rate plans, you can pick any of your rates here. Let me just pick this rate. So I have actually built a couple in here. Let's add a rate just so I'm not picking one here. So when I just hit add a rate, I can name it, let's name it a 5-night promo rate. We can make it bookable, and then what we do here is rate type. We basically say daily or extended. When we choose extended, we hit save, and then we're going to add a season here, and let's just say that started on October 1st. So what you're doing here is you're building a rate for a specified number of days. So let's say it's the 5-night rate, and maybe your normal rate is 200, so it'd normally be 1,000, but this special rate is, you know, 875. So we say it's 875 for 2 people, and it's for 5 nights, and you have to stay 5 nights to get it. And maximum stay is you can allow extra days, so maybe you will allow them up to 7 nights using this rate, and then you can put some extra adults, we'll say like $50. So then here's where you could say allow extra days. So if you don't allow that, basically it's only for 5-night bookings, but maybe if you're okay with them staying 7, we can say allow them extra days, and it automatically fills in whatever this is divided by the number of days. But on extra days, maybe you want it to be 200. You don't want to give them the full break. And then again, adults, children, pets. So minimum and maximum extra days. So you can say, well, they can only take advantage of it for another 2 days. So what that means here is, you know, when I have a 5-night reservation, anywhere from 5 to 7-night reservation, I'm going to have this as an option to select. And if it's a 5-night, it's just going to put one lump sum of $875 on their arrival date. If it's going to put 7 nights, it's going to put $875 on their arrival, and then the last 2 nights are each going to be billed at $200. So that's kind of the explanation.
So it
how
doesn't
that
give you a nightly rate in the invoice?
Right. Yep. So we had a lot of requests of people having like a weekly rate, and they don't really want to show nightly. They just want it to be a weekly rate, because they don't, you know, maybe it's $775 and it doesn't come out exactly right when it's, you know, nightly based. So what we're going to do here is, I think it shows, I didn't save that one, so let's do the 4-night getaway. So I didn't set this one up. Let's back it up and do 4 nights. Okay, so I set up a 4-night getaway, and it's basically, it was $835 for those 4 nights, versus if I was to do a nightly rate, it's, you know, $250 a night, but they're choosing the 4-night getaway. So it basically puts $835 on there, and then you continue booking and finish that up, and then I'll just kind of show you what they're, you know, if you look at their invoice on the screen, it's going to show you, you know, the $835. When you print the invoice, it would just show just kind of the one, you know, one line item of $835. So
How does it affect
Kinda.
ADR and RevPAR?
what was that?
How does that affect ADR and RevPAR?
It's same as, you know, so it's $835 and it's still a 4-night stay. So it's still tallying up the 4 nights. We just had so many requests of this number they had, like especially on weekly rates. So we have a fair amount of customers that have weekly rates, and it doesn't end up being, like I said, they chose a 775. Well, maybe that doesn't compute exactly. 775 divided by 7 would be, you know, 110.71428, but they wanted it to be 775. So it really does break it down behind the scenes as far as ADR and RevPAR. It just, for display purposes and for accounting purposes, it's easy to just put one lump sum. And that way your taxes are all correct because it's not breaking it out on this period per night, because you truly have a one rate for a certain number of nights price. So.
And there's a season that you can put for a time frame to start on the first of the month and 2 months later?
Yep, same season. So when you put that in the configuration, you can put in whatever season you want that rate to be. So if it's only for an off-season rate, maybe you only have maybe allow a 4-night getaway during the winter season or something. Yep, you can put that for a season.
And then the next question is, can I have multiple extended rates for the same season? So can I have a 3-night stay, a 7-night stay, a 12-night stay?
Yep. And here, I think I built some, let me make a fake reservation here. Let me show you how it would look online. I think I built a couple of different ones. Yeah, so here is what I displayed of. So my rack rate I put in like a 50% off 3rd night rate. So one of our customers gave us, they're using this as an example. So you know, it's 250, and then 125. They're just breaking it down, you know, nightly. I don't have it set up to be you only can do it for a 3-night stay. But then here's my 4-night getaway package. So
That's awesome.
How it displays.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was wanting to do, was to be able to set up some getaways like that, you know,
Yep.
specials, I guess, for our website. So that's awesome.
And you can include packages in that. So it still will display the package as an add-on, but you can, the same as you can have a default package for that. So if on my 4-night getaway, you know, maybe it was a girls' weekend or something, and it included, you know, wine or whatever it is, you can have a default package set up. So you can say this includes, you know, a stay and play package. So then it basically will, especially if you chose to display the total.
Sorry.
No problem. I was just there's some other people that joined too, so maybe
Okay.
I'll put you guys on mute, and then for those people that joined, raise your hand, or you guys raise your hand if you want to have a question or anything like that. So what I'm going, for those of you that are newly joined here, what I'm going through is in our new extended rates that we released here, I think it was last week or the week before. So you can display the total or average daily rate here. So what I was going to show you is, you know, if you had a package add-on, instead of it being an average daily rate, it might show you the total rate here. So on a 4-night, this might say 1,000, this might say 835, etc. So that's kind of the whole concept of extended rates. So there's lots of different things that people are doing. Like I said, I got that 50% off the 3rd night from one of our customers that are using it that way. And then, you know, you could put in a 3-night rate and a 5-night rate and a 7-night rate and a 12-night rate, Jim, like you just said. So yeah, that is the extended rate. So again, for anybody there, if you have any questions on that, if you want to raise your hand or submit a question on there, I can go more in depth on that. But I just wanted to make sure I covered that. All right, so then what I thought I would do, and I guess, Valoris, you had the question on adding packages, so you might have seen how I did that, but in the configuration area is where you define packages. And actually, Valoris, I'm going to unmute you here for a second. I have a question. So I've unmuted you here. So when you talk about adding packages, have you set any packages up at all? Or do you have questions on?
Yeah,
okay.
I started playing with it today.
All right.
But say, you know, I wanted to add, you know, a 3-night special or whatever, plus like a different dinners or donut delivery or whatever it might be, just some type of a package that they can purchase.
Yep. Okay. So the first thing to start with on that is POS items. So I'm not sure if you have defined any items in there yet, but that would kind of be the first step. So, you know, anything that you might sell or be included in a package. So, you know, champagne, or you could put donuts or wine or anything like that it includes. So you set all that stuff up first, and then you basically come into packages and you create a new package. So let's add a new package here, and we'll say, you know, I'll put test package. So you have the option of allowing people to purchase it right on their website, which I recommend during their reservation process. So we can put in a description for this, and whatever it includes, you can put in there. And then we start adding packages, or adding items. So we can say that this includes champagne, and the retail value of the champagne is normally $45, but maybe as part of the package, they're not going to see this broken out. They're going to see kind of more of like a total for the package, but you want to allocate $30 to that. And then you also, does this apply just one time, or do they get a bottle of champagne every day, or do they get, you know, one time per guest? Maybe they get a bottle per every adult. Maybe they get a bottle every day for every adult, or whatever, however you want to do it. You set that up and you save it, and then you add another item. So I don't know if I have like we'll just say a robe. So maybe it includes a robe too, and we'll mark that at $40. And we're going to apply that one time per adult. So continue adding whatever you want in there. We'll just put one more, maybe a lunch per guest, and that's going to be daily. And we don't want it to include check-in because you don't want to allow check-ins before lunch. So we'll say it includes the, well, it does not include the check-in, but it does include the checkout. And we'll give it to adults and children. So we hit save. So that's kind of how you build that package. And then you hit save. And then basically, like when you're booking a reservation, you can come in and, you know, click and drag for that, choose your rate, and then you can do that test package there. And what that does is it adds the test package down here, and it puts a dollar amount. So as you can see, if I hover over that, it actually tells me it includes one bottle of champagne, 2 robes, 2 lunches for each day that I'm staying here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I basically hit, then it's totaled at 190. So they're going to see the 190 add-on for all that stuff, but they're not going to see all the individual items there.
Okay. And then what will it look like from the booking engine?
Yep. So they, let's go back and just choose. So if it's not included, let's say it's just not included in any rate, but they go in and they choose this Abby's Retreat for $250 a night. We hit select, and then basically it would show like this. So then
Okay.
add-on packages, and you can put pictures in here, and I can, our support department can absolutely walk you through all that stuff and show you how to put pictures.
That was one of my questions, is if I could add pictures. Okay.
Yep. So you could put pictures on here, and the same thing, you can put a photo gallery. So if they click on that, they can scroll through different photos of that too.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see is on this scenario, it was one night less, so it's not adding those extra lunches, so it's coming up to be 170. And then they add that, and it kind of flies over here and highlights it and adds it to their stay.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if it was built in, so let's go in and you can have a, let's go do that 4-night getaway, and it automatically includes the test package. So now if I go in and choose a 4-night stay, it's going to show my test package down here automatically. And you can, have a rate, it includes this and this and this. And again, you can have the total display here instead of an average daily rate here. But that's kind of how it would display, as if you had it automatically added.
I can do it either way then.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. And then gift certificates, I think you wanted to cover. I'll make sure I cover that. If you have not already, what you would normally do is under the payment settings, you make sure you come in and you add, if you haven't already, you add in a payment type called gift certificate. And when you do that, it has a little check mark for, is this a gift certificate? And when that happens, then you get a whole new section here of gift certificates, and you can put a start date or a next number, allow expiration, etc. And then what you can do is come into this booking engine section under the gift certificate options. And you can say, yes, I'm going to sell gift certificates online. And then here is your link that you would put. So on your website, you can put a button called Purchase the Gift Certificate. And at that point, they'd be brought to a website here. I think I have a demo of kind of that site. But so they'd be brought to this area. So when you can title the page, whichever you call it, sometimes people call it gift cards or whatever you want to call it, and then you set the minimum values. So the absolute minimum they can purchase, because you don't want people buying $5 gift certificates, is 50, or maybe it's 100 or 150 or 200. And then when they come in here, there's a little up and down arrow, and then that's where the increment buy. So in this scenario, my minimum is 50, and every time I hit the up or down arrow, it increases by 25. And then I can set up a confirmation letter for gift certificates. So thank you for buying this gift certificate. And then I can actually create a letter for the gift certificate. And our support department can help, but you can actually design a gift certificate that gets emailed to them. So they'll get a confirmation letter and an actual certificate that they could print out or keep in their email box. And then obviously if you had like a fee in there, it's whatever. terms and conditions. You set up your terms and conditions for those, and then whatever you want to display for a thank you message when they purchase it. And then again, then it's just a matter of creating that link on your website to purchase a gift certificate. And then when they purchase that, it comes right into the software. Again, onto this dashboard, it'll come right into here when there's a new gift certificate, kind of just like your reservations. And it'll also be listed in the gift certificate section. So I'm going to unmute you here. Does that help, or any other questions on that? Does that kind of get you started?
And then, so where do I put that link on my website? On any page I want to put it? Basically, it'll just come to that. Okay.
Yep. So, you know, we recommend maybe on as part of your standard theme, menu items on the top of your website. Mm-hmm. So you could, up here, you could say purchase a gift certificate or gift certificates or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then just, like I said, just have it linked right to that URL that's in there.
Okay. Great.
All right. So I know that there was a few people that joined late. Looks like I do have a question here. Could you do a package that includes the lodging at a different rate than rack? I'm going to unmute you here, Sherry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you actually did. You showed it right after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I answered it without purposely answering. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. What else? That was, I mean, this obviously is a meeting. The concept of this forum here is for you guys to just come with any questions. I did cover a couple of things. Maybe I will mention, because there's a few people that joined for the late. I mentioned the fact that there was an update this morning, and that update, in the main thing that it included is duplicate name checking. So when a reservation is made online, instead of just adding a new person every time, if it will actually query your database and see if that person already exists in your database. So there is some logic they built there. It doesn't just match up the name and then merge it. What it'll do is it has to match like the name exactly and the email exactly, or the name exactly, the address, city, state, zip, everything exactly. If it doesn't match exactly and things are close, it will display a message right on the dashboard here, or when you look at that reservation, it also displays a message. So that's kind of the core of the update that was this morning. So, Susie, it looks like you got your hand up. I've unmuted you. What can I help you with?
If you have duplicate names in there, is there a way to merge them?
Yep, absolutely. So if there's already duplicates in there, when you go to the people section, I think maybe I'll try to, I might be able to, it should put a little warning flag up. Well, I'll just, I don't have anybody with a warning flag, but let me go into this record here. And when I'm viewing this record, I can click on this little icon up here on the right, and we can say merge duplicate people. And what happens is that's when it will query the database. So I've found, you know, this is my demo database. So obviously you probably don't have as many of this. So you can see, obviously I have a ton of different names, but in my demo database, you can see it's finding the same email address. So it's basically asking, hey, are these the same people? Which then if it's not, you can just say remove, or this is not a duplicate, and then it won't warn me again. But I can say remove from the list. Nope, they're not. We could say, oh yeah, this person is, and then this is the primary I want. So you can actually set them as primary, and then merge whatever people. When I hit merge, I'm not going to do that in my demo, but it takes, you know, if they have different phone numbers, it'll put this phone number into this person's record, and 2 email addresses, it'll actually put this email as a secondary email on there. And then any reservations underneath that person will be put right into kind of merged with the other reservations from this. So yes, there is an absolute way to do that in general if you find duplicates. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yep. What else? Is there any other questions here, guys? I was just looking through. So yeah, I mean, again, I won't take up any of your time, any more of your time. Oh, Dolores, you had your hand up for a second. Did you have a question?
I do. I'm wondering how other people print or what they use for cash receipts and the credit card receipts. Because from my understanding, when, you know, we use Shift4, and so when we run a credit card, we make the payment and then we have to go back to the invoice to print the credit card receipt. And then if they pay with cash, then then we created a letter and we have to go to letters and print them a cash receipt from letters. And it's it's a lot of steps. And I'm wondering, is that what everybody else does? What's the easiest way to print receipts?
Yeah, so if anybody has any ideas for her, if you want to raise your hand, what I can tell you, I have no way to demo credit card processing, so I can't really do it. But what I've been told is, if you have Shift4 and you're doing it integrated, when you make that payment, there should be a button right in that little screen that says print receipt.
There should be, but there's not.
But there's not. Okay, so I'm going to have...
You have to go to the invoice. You have to go back and click on the invoice, and then click on the payment or the person's payment to then print the receipt. You can't do it right from the payment.
Okay, print receipt right from making payment. And maybe I'm mistaken, and that was one thing that was brought up to me, and I've made that suggestion. But either way, I will follow up with you after this, after I just check with them to verify.
Same thing with a cash. You know, when someone makes a cash payment, it would be nice if there was a button to click them or, you know, print a receipt instead of having to go back and print a letter.
Right. So when you basically make a payment and we say cash, and they put $100 on here, and we say make a payment, I'm gonna it's warning me. So right, like there, you wish there was something that came up after that. Oh,
push to print them.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So you wanted like another window, like on that example, a cash payment. You wish there was another window that popped up to just say print receipt.
Print receipt, yeah, whether it's cash or credit.
Okay.
Right from there.
Or maybe even a check box here to say like a default print receipt after payment, or.
Sure. Anything.
And are you looking? Yeah, and you're probably wanting to print this whole like invoice type scenario, right? Because they want to know what they've paid for.
No, we are not printing the whole invoice. We print them. We have it set up to print on just like a little half sheet of paper instead of the whole invoice.
So, but it has like total and taxes and amount paid and balance due or whatever. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I know on cash payments, when you do that, then you basically just hit this little letter icon and print your, receipt. But I'm going to make that I'm gonna just get back to you on the credit card stuff because I thought there was a print receipt, but maybe it was just that's been recommended. So I'll get back to you on that, and then I'll absolutely make that recommendation that we do that for any type of payment as an option. So
That'd be great.
what else? Anybody else have any suggestions or comments, questions that you want me to cover? You can always email me. My email is right here, jeff.hebrink@rezstream.com. You can email me personally, or you can email sales@rezstream.com. Support@rezstream.com goes to the support department. But if you have just something you want covered, maybe in the next one we do, always ask for questions submitted beforehand. The other thing I wanted to make sure of, I'm just going to show it to you, and then that'll be about it, is support always wants me to mention this, and I forgot to last time. This little question mark button right here. So they get a lot of, not that they hate answering questions, they're fine with it, but sometimes people don't realize they can get answers to their questions almost immediately without calling. If you're anywhere in here, you can always click on this question mark button, and then we have a full knowledge base online. So whatever section you're in, you can click on, it'll say dashboard help if I'm in the dashboard. If I'm in the occupancy map, it'll say occupancy map help. It'll go right into that help section online. So on dashboard, you can go in here and maybe you want to help understanding tasks. So we can click on that, and they do a great job with the screenshots and navigating and what it means, and definitions and arrows, printing, etc. Otherwise, you can always go to the general knowledge base, which is, we have videos here, how-to videos. If you want to watch some videos, gift certificates. They're selling gift certificates online, setting up channel managers, booking engines, configuration, release notes, everything on there. So I wanted to be sure that I mentioned that this time, since evidently some people weren't even aware of that. So again, we're always here for support. You can always call or email too, but that is available in case you didn't know that. So, all right. Well, I don't see any more questions, and I don't see anybody else's hand raised. So last call for any of that. Otherwise, I will take those couple of items I have offline and follow back up with you, and then shoot me an email if you come up with anything else that you want me to address. We can do a one-on-one or anything like that too. So I appreciate your time, and hopefully you got some value out of this, and take care, and we'll hopefully see you next month on this again. Take care, everyone. Thank you.